following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Bruh, the Vancouver Canucks are what? A 100-point team, and I'm out here still demanding more, okay? It's that time of year. April literally around the corner. The sun is shining in Vancouver. Finally feeling like itself again, and the Stanley Cup is on the minds of a lot of people. So I think I'm allowed to be a little all over the place still. Okay, we'll get through this together. Okay, the Canucks win. They beat the Ducks 3-2. Dakota Joshua playing like that guy. So much to talk about it, and let's just do it on Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Kyle Bowen. And what are we doing here, okay? At the West Coast, doing the most at the Don't Doze Art Lab, and really leaning into that West Coast bias, okay? The sun is shining right now. The Vancouver Canucks again winning, picking up a good 2 points. As 17 Scylla is saying on YouTube. And are entering April already in the playoffs. We should be all the way up, yet here I am again. Kind of wanting more. Can you blame me? The Canucks beat the Anaheim Ducks 3-2. Was that the score? Right? On this Sunday afternoon. And it got scary. It got a little traumatic. And maybe that's why, again, I'm feeling all over the place. Hey, I'm just Kyle Bowen. And maybe you can get me through this. So let's get to the comments and see where this conversation goes. Dakota Joshua being that guy. And as Andrew is saying, I'm so glad he's back. Bro, me too. The dude's a fun player. The dude also has no years left on his deal after this one. And he's becoming that guy. Really is. The guy you got to sign first. I think the guy you can also sign before Philip Roenick. Just because he's really good. Both those guys are really good. And it's about signing or keeping really good players. And he's proven it. 2 goals. One of them being one of the highlights of the year. Between the legs on the power play. Made it look smooth. Even though it kind of happened in slow motion. And put a lot on that shot. Again, ultimately looking like a really good player. And Dakota Joshua not missing a beat. Missed 18 games. He's been back for 2. And he's been our best player. How much are you paying Dakota Joshua? Remember when Trevor Beggs, who's not with us today, family man. Remember when Trevor Beggs said, hey, give him $4 million a year. And I almost broke my webcam when he said that, okay? I was mad. I thought Trevor Beggs was being sensational. And we just got to keep it real here, okay? But there he was saying $4 million, and now I kind of want to do whatever it takes to keep Dakota Joshua. A gamer. Remember that comment? It was a powerful one, right? Somebody asked him about his injury, how he got his injury, the fight. And Joshua pretty much gave an answer stating that he wouldn't have it any other way. AKA, you got to defend your teammates. You got to risk it. And that's what Dakota Joshua did for Connor Garland. He risked injury, got injured, and missed 18 games in a pretty important year for him. More than a glue guy, probably one of the favorites in that dressing room. And more notably, a really good player. And I think if Rick Tocchet is around for a very long time, as should Dakota Joshua, because those two just work. And look at Andrew's comment, okay? He's a true man's man. I want to be that, okay? But right now, I'm just a Hindu. I'm growing. I'm learning. Dakota Joshua. That guy. How much we paying him, though, okay? Look at 17 Sella again, okay? $4 million max. Maybe 3.5. If possible. That's crazy, man. Who would have thought? Who's the first guy getting called out in training camp? It's Dakota Joshua, right? What a player. What a player. The Canucks beating the Ducks 3-2 on this Sunday afternoon. And here I am, okay, getting through it. Getting through the other side, okay? Here I am, again, demanding more. The Canucks did not really look perfect or powerful against the Ducks, right? You wish the score was 7-2, not a bit of a nail biter, because I don't know, it would just make more sense. But there, the Canucks were blowing a 2-goal lead in the third period, and there was I, just being negative, being dark. Already thinking about the post-game loss and not the post-game show. But through all that, and I swear to you, I have the proof. It was nuts. After going on a spiel in the group chat and kind of on the Discord, link to that in the bio below, I ended off my spiel with a message to the homies saying this. I think Dakota Joshua is getting another one. And that's because after the Canucks blew a 2-goal lead, I think there was a good 8 minutes there where shift after shift, they were in the zone. They were making things happen. And two players who did it to such importance was Niels Höglander and Connor Garland. Those guys, some of the quote-unquote smallest on the team, doing the most, playing the hardest, and I would say saving the Canucks from somewhat of a tragedy, okay? For real. Those two kept it going. The Canucks got momentum, and ultimately, on a pretty good play all around, JT Miller to Connor Garland behind the net, and then a quick pass to Joshua in front of the net. Boom, bam. The Canucks win 3-2. It was just really fitting that Garland was a part of that. A catalyst. Where am I going with this? I still think the Canucks, yes, you're Canucks, even though we barely beat the Anaheim Ducks, who suck. After doing that, I'm here still thinking that there's a good chance that this team is going to win the Stanley Cup. And I'm saying that because, A, again, the West Coast bias in my blood. I'm in the Doto's Art Lab, okay? It is what it is. The Canucks, with 8 games left, already have 100 points. I'm going to feel confident. And I'm also going to feel more confident when some of their best players for a long period of time are guys like Dakota Joshua and Connor Garland. That means there's plenty of story left for guys like Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson to, take over, become the main characters. AKA, this team is pretty deep. Connor Garland, really good at hockey. Dakota Joshua, really good at hockey. JT Miller, really good at hockey. They're going to get Demko back. Pettersson, really good at hockey. Quinn Hughes, you know what I'm saying? Do the math. When guys like Dakota Joshua and Connor Garland are playing at that level, yeah, June actually makes sense, okay? Look at 17, man. Getting all the love on the show today. I love the West Coast bias, bro. It's the only bias that matters, okay? Look after your neighbors so you can look after the world, okay? Have the bias for your neighbors. Look at Brandon, one of the comments of the year, okay? Again, the Canucks are going back to the playoffs. It's April. It's sunny. These things matter. Brandon saying that today he bought a Sportsnet Plus subscription, okay? So he doesn't miss the playoffs. In the past, the recent past, Brandon using illegal streams. But he knows that connection is shaky, and right now's not the time to miss any second, okay? The Canucks are back. I was about to swear there, man. It's shiny. Shiny outside. Cherry blossoms in the air. And the Canucks are going back to the playoffs. Like there's an X by their name. This is a great way to enter the week. Because right now it feels really, really Vancouver. And as Brandon's saying, you don't want to miss any of this. Speaking of which, I got to say it again. I went to Blarney Stone for that Dallas Stars game, right? Great time. The post game was nice. But during the game, there were only 2 people watching that game on the big screen. Maybe 4, maybe 6. But that place was packed. Not a lot of people glued in to the Canucks at that time. But I think that's going to switch pretty quick. It could be as quick as this next game against Vegas or Vegas next week, right? Or it could be that game against the Oilers sometime around. But the city's going to really care soon, okay? You can already see the news reports being written up for tomorrow, okay? The Canucks are going back to the playoffs. Vancouver feels like Vancouver. One love. Good comment right here, okay? Bin Tang Warrior, okay? They're playing good hockey, but the finish has dropped off. I don't even know if the Canucks are playing that good, to be honest. There has to be a new standard for good. They're leaving a lot of room off the table when it comes to showing a consistent dominance 5-on-5. And we did see that during the last 10 minutes of this game. It was that pace being pushed. It was way less dump and chase. It was dictating play. It was leaning on guys like Pettersson and Miller and Höglander and Garland and Besser, etc., to do their thing. Guys like Dakota Joshua, bro. When they want to make noise, I think they can do it. But for some reason, in recent history, I feel as if they're playing a little safer. I think, habitually speaking, they're looking forward to dumping and chasing more than making plays. Until they can get back to that, this team won't get close at reaching optimal offense. But with that, even that being said, they're playing pretty good defense and have Thatcher Demko, which could also equate to somewhat of a long playoff run. Again, home of the West Coast bias. Did I say this team's deep? I meant it, man. Andrew said Kyle had to sell the roof to get that dub. I guess you're watching on YouTube and you're wondering where the roof of the stream is. Hey, things happen, man. I had to buy some books, all right? Had to do it. Look at Jacob, man. Philip Hronek can go. He's not worth $8 million. Damn. I'll say this, though. It was nice to see him being extra physical right at the very end of the game, okay? Getting mad, playing aggressive, getting into it with McTavish. And there's that other side of Philip Hronek, man, that I think is something that a lot of Canucks fans are going to gravitate to, right? And right now, I know the quote-unquote points are there, blah, blah, blah. It's been so different over the last 32 games, blah, blah, blah. He's not worth $8 million, blah, blah, blah. But there's this other side to Hronek. I've seen it lately. Again, we heard Harmon talk about it on Canucks Conversation not too long ago. There's this other side, this meaner side to Philip Hronek. And you need that too. On top of needing 50 points from a defenseman outside of Quinn Hughes. It's Sunday, okay? The sun is shining. The Canucks clinch a playoff spot last night. And I got to say it again. The Canucks are deep. And really deep when a lot of things are going their way. What did Rutherford say, right? The famous quote. They didn't last very long at all, okay? If everything goes right, the Canucks are going to make the playoffs. If everything goes right, the Canucks are going to win the Stanley Cup. Because if everything goes right, a lot of top-end talent is firing, okay? And what's that quote, okay? Firing on all cylinders, okay? Look at Kyle, okay? Look at Canucks fans. Hronek isn't worth $8 million instead of Joshua is worth $? Million. The Canucks, okay? The home of the negative Nancys. Hey, man. It is what it is, okay? A lot of passion. Yeah. Again, sun is shining. It's Sunday. I'll say this. I'm going to be nice to Hronek because, again, I'm liking the aggressiveness. He's also pretty much a 50-point guy. The Canucks haven't historically had a lot of defensemen like him, if you really think about it. And he's been able to put up one of the best years as a defenseman in Canucks history in year one. He got traded for a lot, okay? And comes into a Canadian market, the West Coast, the best coast of Canada, and impresses a lot in year one. Just saying. Look at Popeye, man. Popeye, man, the captain of the Discord, okay? Someone needs to teach Pedersen how to fight. Recency bias, okay? I can go all over the place. I'm trying to get through this positively, okay? Because, again, emotional off the top. Didn't know where this episode's going to go. I'm going to keep it positive, okay? Look at the last 8 minutes of that period. Again, the Canucks, they just took that game back from the Ducks. They had to. They felt like their backs were against the wall. They had to be resilient. I know it's against the Ducks, but, bro, I'm telling you, this could have gone so south in a matter of 10 minutes. And what they did was save the game. And a lot of that was because Pedersen and Miller were playing a lot. And Pedersen was really good in those final minutes. Can he be more clinical? Obviously, you want more points, blah, blah, blah. Yes, but he's a big part of that win at the end of March on a sunny Sunday, April. And I'm going to take that right now, man. 17, man. Hronek might not be worth $8 million, but right-handed top defenseman don't grow on trees. Money Tree, it's Kendrick Lamar. Remember that song? That song's crazy, man. Look at East Van, okay? Lindholm didn't play, did he? No, he didn't, but he did play against the Montreal Canadiens and the Calgary Flames. It must not be that bad, okay? If that's the case, and if this organization is not led by Jim Benning, come on, they're not letting Lindholm play those games if this is really bad. Hey, man, the Canucks are a better team with Lindholm. They really are. We're putting everything out into the universe. Quinn Hughes, this comes from Andrew, up to 82 points. Yeah, that's incredible. What a player. I think he's another guy really responsible for this team pushing the pace. And I know that's such an obvious statement, but I guess what I'm trying to say actually is going into the last 8 games of the year, I think he just needs to take more initiative in establishing how this team is going to play. And I know what you're thinking about, right? Yo, he's already doing the most. He really is. He's really good. But I think there's another level to him creating chaos in the offensive zone. And I think if he's able to establish that part of his game early in these games coming up against Vegas, etc., Winnipeg, LA, blah, 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 the Canucks can turn a tide offensively 5-on-5. Because I feel as if that team, that culture, that roster right now as a forward group just needs more of that killer instinct. And not just waiting for breakdowns, just creating them with an assassin-like approach. Quinn Hughes, man, what a player. 82 points. Congratulations. That's crazy. Look at Brandon, man. Is the skate jersey going to be in the playoffs? I don't know. I think they're going to make the full-time switch pretty soon, man. Something just tells me, man, if the Canucks go on a long playoff run and they use the skate jersey a lot, next year, it could be bye-bye Orca, okay? You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, did everyone do their taxes, man? One love, man. Hey, we looking out for our neighbors here, okay? Again, home of the West Coast bias, Locked On Canucks. Hit the like button, subscribe. Let's go through a couple more comments. Did we really dive into Joshua's first goal between the leg? Yeah, we did. Okay, we fell in love with it. That was a good goal. Good for him. Yo, he's definitely adding that to the highlight reel. That's worth like $250,000. That move, if you really break it down. You know what I'm saying? And that's $250 per year. On a 4-year deal, that's $1 million. That move, that one move. That was something. That was really something. Someone's saying that Quinn Hughes a plus 38 as well. Or is he talking about Philip Ponic? Hey, Arshdeep, man, almost had a nice point. Almost got a point. I think it's gonna happen soon. I think it's easier for him to kind of do his thing when he's playing the Ducks, right? The real test is gonna be coming up against Vegas, and I think he's gonna get another crack at the lineup if Lindholm is not playing. And I also think he's gonna bring it. I think a turning point in his tenure for the Canucks can happen on Tuesday. Look at Jacob talking about another young gun. Okay, I think Silovs is going to be sick or a sick backup one day. Dude, one day might be in like 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. Do the math, right? When is September again? He's kind of got to be that guy. I mean, I don't know if the Canucks can afford to pay Casey DeSmith. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. I'm doing the math. Casey DeSmith also doing pretty well this year. Real talk. Well, what a performance over the last handful of games. And I know Silovs got the start today, but when something like that happens, today you kind of think about the overall scheme of things over the last little bit. And just another reminder, Thatcher Demko hasn't been here for a while. And even though sometimes for me it feels like, things might be crumbling, like they got to do a lot more, blah, blah, blah. They got Casey DeSmith in that, and he's holding it down. AKA, it's going to be hard to pay. Straight up. Deserves a starting position. I don't know, man. Maybe. Look at Boomscoom, okay? What does that mean? I'm old, okay? He's saying that the skate is ugly. Hey, man, to each your own, right? You're lucky the sun is shining. Look at Brandon, man. Taxes are done. He got them done a month ago, and he already spent his return on drinks for the last few games. The sun is shining. People relaxing, man. And also reminded of the, climatic feelings that come when your team's in it in April and your team happens to be the Vancouver Canucks. Again, you feel like yourself again right now. And, bro, I've been celebrating, man. Not early. It's just for myself, just again, my inner child. Like, this is what life's all about. The Canucks are good again. It's been a while. It's April, downtown, boom, bam. It's gonna get cultural again. Vancouver's gonna feel like Vancouver again, and I'm looking really, really forward to it. And I'm super grateful. Again, the Canucks, man, they got 100 points already. Oh, where were we 12 months ago, bro? Praying for Connor Bedard. Even more weird. Okay, we were praying for losses. We didn't want JT Miller and Thatcher Demko and Rick Tocchet and Pettersson to be like winners at the end of their hockey games. You know what I'm saying? And 12 months later, we got what? 100 points with 8 games left. Is that the math? I think so. I failed math 10. It is what it is. Look at Boom, okay? Would you say the Canucks are slumping? I just went on a little rant about how I feel like their offense still feels a little dry. They need to be more clinical. Just replay that. I don't know if they're ultimately struggling, but that's a big part to why they're just feeling a little boring / leaving a lot on the table, okay? Or off the table. I got to get better at those things. It is what it is, okay? We'll end it on this note, okay? The Canucks feeling weird, maybe boring over the last 20 games, but is this number true? I think so, okay? The Canucks are number 1 in goals against since the All-Star break, and that is mad impressive. Again, I told you too, man. Let's end it on this note, okay? The Canucks are cup favorites because they're deep, but also deep in ways of producing wins. They can do it in multiple ways, and if their offense 5-on-5 doesn't pick it up, right? If Pettersson doesn't return to like a 110-point form, like that clinical assassin offensively, if those things don't happen, the Canucks still have an opportunity to go deep in the playoffs. Why? Because look at how they're playing defense, and they got Thatcher Demko. And they got Dakota Joshua and Connor Garland. Congratulations, you made it. You made it to this point. Not just the end of the episode, but kind of like the end of that chapter of our Canucks life. Because A, the games matter, and B, they're going to really matter. Like some of your favorite memories are about to begin. So go Canucks, go, man. Hey, that's saying, man, we are all Canucks. We are all Canucks. I can't say we are all Hindus, okay, for real. But I can say we are all Canucks. That culture, man. It's that feeling. You and 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 you. And I. It's back. The Canucks are back. Anyways, have a good morning, a good afternoon, a good night. If you're not watching this live, we did not know when you're watching this. That was another episode of Locked On Canucks. One love to the Dodos Art Lab for, again, supplying that West Coast bias. That is what the Art Lab does. And, you got to look after your neighbors. So one day you can look after the world. Go Canucks, go. Shout out to Dakota Joshua. And, peace.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.